Welcome to this bite-sized video for the Digital Business Services T-Level, where we'll be exploring Task 2B for the Data Technician Employer Set project. The Employer Set project consists of a series of tasks designed to assess the 5 assessment objectives shown, and this skills assessment is set and marked by NCFE. The ESP is conducted during a 2-week assessment window, which will be available during the summer and autumn terms. The tasks are designed to replicate the real-life industry experience, and we use employers and industry experts when developing the ESP to achieve this. The video will focus on Task 2B, where students will be accessing and using data sets supplied by NCFE, and this activity will assess assessment objectives 2 and 4. Task 2B occurs during the first assessment week, and this will occur on a fixed date and time stipulated by NCFE, which can be found in our key date schedule. The assessment material should only be available to students during the scheduled session, so do take account of this and ensure that you have storage areas for students' evidence. This is a 4-hour supervised session with an additional 15-minute supervised rest break being permitted. If students have any access arrangements or reasonable adjustments, such as additional time for assessments, then you should apply them internally and increase the task time by the relevant amount. Internet access is permitted for limited purposes, such as access to online tools for the creation of diagrams with a copy of students' browsing history. You must ensure that the privacy mode has been disabled, with policies applied to prevent students from deleting their browsing history. Now, in this task, students could be issued with a selection of valid, reliable data sets and a data set that requires cleansing. The 20 marks available are across the 3 separate actions. So the first one, cleanse one of the data sets and apply a data modeling tool. So that could be an entity relationship diagram or a data flow diagram. Analyze the data sets against the key aims of the business in relation to the scenario in the brief, and create a new data set by integrating what they feel are the most significant parts of the data provided. Create a short, informal email to their line manager, which outlines the technical steps taken and provides a justification for why they have processed the data in a particular way against the needs of the business detailed in the brief. Now, the first action, cleansing the data and applying a data modeling tool, is worth 6 marks, with the highest band mark and descriptor being shown on the screen. And when it comes to cleansing the data, students may need to edit some aspects such as errors and formats, remove any irrelevant data or protected data such as personal information, or fix inconsistencies such as a mixture of numbers and text or a different date or time format, as a couple of examples. And then there's the data modeling tool, which could be an entity relationship diagram or a data flow diagram, depending on the brief given. The more practice students have with handling and working with data, the better. And you could have students create sample data sets for their peers to check with some intentional things to address. Here's an example, a simple one of some customers' order information which has data protection issues where the customer's email is visible and there's inconsistent date formats which need fixing, and the order quantity has got a number written as text, with some data missing from the data set too. And students have to decide how to handle this and what assumptions they have made. And other potential errors that may occur, especially for fields where it might have been filled in by an individual, and therefore susceptible to human input errors. And I'm going to take this same data set and provide a bit more background as to how it could be extended into the data modeling tool. Now, in this case, we have a stationery manufacturer who are looking to launch a new and brightly coloured Pride stationery range in order to promote equality, diversity and inclusion with a focus on the LGBTQ community. The company has other products, data sheets which contain information about their already existing product range with ID codes about the type of stationery it is, the colour of the products and the material it's made from. And the proper worded description for these ID codes are contained in another identifier data set. Now, as an aim of this organisation is to launch some new brightly coloured stationery, they may want to look at information regarding their current products that are colourful to gain some insight, design features or possible sale prices, to use a couple of examples. So the entity relationship diagram connecting these three elements might look like: a customer places an order for a certain product with a unique order ID. And as part of the business aim, they may wish to contact some customers for feedback, and they would need their email, which would pull through from the order sheet. From that order, we know information about the products our customers have bought, details such as the colour, and the colour information from the colour table is connected to the products table. So we can now see that the relationship, and this can run a query on the already existing colourful products to gain insight into the new range. And once they have the new product, they might decide to directly email certain customers, such as those who had previously bought colourful products, to see if they'd like the colour Pride stationery range too. And we can make a data flow to represent this. And this is a level 0 context diagram showing a basic overview of the whole system, but the specification also covers level 1 data flow diagrams too. Now, the first could be checking out past orders for those colourful purchases or part of a new product promotion, which will then check past orders for certain colours against the existing product list. And if we find such a colourful order product that are red, yellow, blue, for example, then we might decide to target that customer as they may like bright and colourful products. Of course, this must be a bigger process in reality. Now, the second action, analysing the data and producing a suitable output or visualisation, with 6 of the 20 marks split over the analysis, where students need to select the relevant variables that will meet the aims, process or analyse the data in a relevant and meaningful way with suitable queries and functions applied. Now, with the analysis, students should modify the data sets and produce a meaningful visualisation that will provide appropriate insight, with dashboards often being a good option for visualising and selecting different elements that will help the business meet its aims and it's relevant to the brief. For the analysis aspect of the activity, students may want to apply the process of computational thinking and starting by decomposing the problem into smaller, more manageable, separate parts or stages. That can help students to clarify the requirements to complete the task, and how the parts link together and are dependent on each other, making the problem easier to understand. And this could be a top-down approach, a bottom-up approach, or a modularization approach, depending on the brief. But once done, it's often possible to identify patterns. Then abstraction can occur and students can be considering the brief carefully when removing or filtering characteristics that are not needed. And finally, the algorithms and actions, ensuring that the algorithms are correct, solve the problem and produce the correct and expected output as relevant to the brief. When choosing the most suitable output for the data, and the choice will depend on the type of data and the end user's knowledge. But the students will have the opportunity to justify their choices with the third and final action, which is their support and rationale worth the final 8 marks out of the 20. Now, this activity takes the form of an email to their line manager, which informally outlines the technical steps they've taken and provides a justification for why they processed the data in a particular way and why that was best for the needs of the business. So always referring back to the information detailed in the brief. Now, the justification is where the students have the opportunity to explain the reasons as to why they've taken the steps they have. As this is an informal email to the line manager, the language should be suitable for a technical audience. And it's worth having students restate the business aims with the opening paragraph to ensure they're making it relevant to the brief. Then what they did, any why for action 1, the data cleanse and data modeling diagram, and any assumptions that was made, such as any changes or fixes they did to the data. Then a section about action 2, the analysis and visualization produced from the data and why they took the approach they did and how it helped the business achieve its goals. We hope you found this useful and have a better understanding of task 2B, and do see our other bite-sized videos that form the part of this Employer Set project series. Thank you.